Hey everyone, welcome to a new episode of 5 Questions. Today I have the honor to have CB Hoyo here with me. CB Hoyo is irreverent, humorous, innovative, and a social media phenomenon. He was born in Havana in 1995, and then he moved to Dominican Republic, where he has been a self-taught artist. He tackles social media impact, consumerism, moral values, human condition, and more. And he works across media, ranging from painting, sculptures, and installation. He constantly defies classical art canons. And today he's here with me on 5 Questions. Welcome.
Hello, how you doing?
The first question is, do you consider that you being an immigrant and fleeing Cuba as a child has influenced you or made you more critical?
Definitely. I growing up in a land that's not your land in a certain way because I was not born there, made me see things in a different way because in a sort of way, yeah, I was an outsider because I was not born there. So many of like the things that I brought, like not even the things that I brought because I was a baby. I don't have like no memories of Cuba whatsoever, but like the family customs and everything, they were kind of sometimes were different, and like the way my mother would talk and everything would be kind of different from like the Dominican way of talking. So yeah, definitely. I grew up in an international environment. I also went to an international school, so every single kid there was from a different country. They were all sons and daughters of diplomatic personnel from the embassies in DR. So yeah, I grew up with people from all over the world, which that actually like opened my mind and seeing things that are. I mean, it opened my mind to see that things are not all the same, and there's multiple possibilities. That's actually a thing that doesn't happen to people that are like stuck in a place. Let's say they're born in Cuba, they live in Cuba, and they don't go outside of Cuba, and they don't have like contact with people that are not from Cuba. They have like this closed mentality, and they don't see what's outside. I'm using Cuba as an example because it's the first like country or whatever came out. I'm not saying that the Cuban population is like
No,
that.
it happens with any country.
Yeah, with anywhere, even like if you like, people, I normally see that it happens a lot with like people that live in small towns.
Yeah,
Normally, they don't leave their small town, and it's like the small town mentality. It's, I mean, I kind of see I kind of see it as a sad thing. Uh,
definitely. How did you come up with the idea of making art by appropriating and commenting famous artworks, and not only famous artworks, but also like in your 2016 series of Money, you tackle different world currencies and you make some interventions on them. So how have you come up with this idea?
so the idea of the fakes, it was all born out of an accident. I was faking a Warhol for fun in 2017. It was, I think, January or February. I don't remember right now. I recall the date. But I was faking a Warhol more or less around those dates. And I had spent like hours trying to fake it. And at the last part of the process, I literally messed everything up. And I had this ugly thing. I was like, whoa, I spent so many hours trying to fake this painting, and I don't want to throw it away. I might as well use it with something. And I several days before that, I had read an article on the internet. I think it was an Artnet. I don't remember where it was right now. That was talking about how half of the art that goes into auction, more or less half of the art that goes into auction, is all counterfeit. I was like, well, this is something very big, and barely nobody's talking about this. So I might as well take my fake Warhol and embrace the fact that it's fake. And it was actually a really interesting time in society because it was like right after like Trump got elected, and then there was this hype about the fake news media and him talking about everything being fake news and blah blah blah. So I was like, well, I have a fake Warhol, and yeah, I might as well embrace that I made it, and I might as well tell people it's fake so it doesn't go to waste. And then that was like the first thing that like kicked into the fakes and how they got into existence. And then from there, I published it on Instagram, and it was like a domino effect. It led me to make other pieces and explore the subject and talk more about society and like everything in general. And now going back to the paper, to the currency works, that started in 2016. I I was on my way to buy art supplies to paint, and I was like, why am I spending money to buy paper if money is already paper? I might as well take money and paint on top of it. So that's where all that idea came from. It's actually funny that you're talking about this because barely nobody asked me about the paper currency thing anymore.
Because I saw you intervened Bolivar, which is the Venezuelan currency. I'm Venezuelan, and you put like a dollar sign on it, and I thought it was very clever how you're mocking the Venezuelan situation with.
Is actually the funniest thing back then was because that was when like the first like the crisis of the bolivar like going down and devaluating itself started. Still back then the bolivar was more or less okay. You still didn't have to like buy things and wait the bolivars to buy like a banana or something like that. So it was, I don't know.
For sure. So the third question is, how do you merge art and humor? So it's sort of related with the previous question.
So I mean, I with my art, I literally say what I'm thinking, and I'm raw. I say what I think, and I don't put any filters on it. I just like slap it out on the paper or whatever medium I'm using, and I try to be as direct as I can with my audience and with myself to express what I'm actually feeling and what I'm seeing at that moment. With my art, I try to capture society as a whole, as a collective, and normalize the things that we feel. That's with the fake, not with fake, sorry, with the corny quotes.
Yeah,
The corny quotes are basically thoughts that everybody has, but not everybody thinks. I mean, everybody thinks about them, but not everybody necessarily talks about them because they're considered, say, taboo or something like that. So yeah, I talk about these things and show the human side of everyone. I mean, we're all human. We all have the same feelings, the same things, and it's something that not everybody talks about.
definitely.
Everybody thinks about it, but no one talks about it, or very few people talk about it.
The fourth question is, you have become very popular in social media, and you every week, or I feel like it's every week, you do this Insta polls where
Yeah.
you random questions. Do this have like do they have any sort of influence in your creative process, or they don't?
I mean, it depends on the mood. Normally, the polls, I do several type of polls. The one I usually do every week is the Wednesday poll day. It's
Yes.
normally on Wednesdays when I don't forget it's Wednesday because I have that problem that I sometimes I don't even know what day of the year it is, what day of the week it is. So when I remember it's Wednesday, I do them on Wednesday, and then otherwise I do them whenever I remember. But with those, I put out I not even questions. I just put words or phrases, and
Correct.
people have to answer yes or no. It's not they don't even have to answer anything because I'm not asking anything.
Yes.
Therefore, there's no answer needed. I just put word or question with yes or no, and I ask more or less the hundred. I put like 100 things, and people answer them. I mean, and those things are things that I'm thinking about that I have seen throughout the week that are happening in the news. Random thoughts. It could go from let's say Donald Trump, then McDonald's, then Teletubby gangbang, things that usually don't make sense that you would never like see together. Sometimes I do play tricks with people, and let's say I last week I did one. I was like owning a pet, and then the next one was keeping a creature captive against its own will. Guess what happened? Like 90% of the people said yes to owning a pet, and then like keeping a creature captive was like 95% no. Nobody wants to keep a creature captive, but at the end of the day, it's the same thing. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah. It's very
And
funny.
I normally end this Wednesday poll day thing with a statement that says, "I'm not asking anything. There are no questions. There are no right or wrong answers, and yeah, you can go fuck yourself." Basically, don't bother me because I don't care. Because a lot that's also something funny is like a lot of the people when they like misanswer something that they don't answer it correctly, they're like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to answer that. Oh, I didn't I don't think like that." And I'm like, I'm not asking anything. You can interpret this question, this phrases or these things however you want. There's no right or wrong.
Yeah, it's a very
So
social experiment for sure.
yeah.
Um,
Uh,
the fifth question is, what are your creative plans for 2021, if you want to share?
um, I'm exploring more mediums ever since I stopped with the fakes. I've been on a quest of exploring and finding myself on a deeper level as an artist. I've been using things that I would never thought that I'll be making. Let's say, look at the back sculpture. I made a sculpture. With the face, I was not doing those things. So yeah, I'm experimenting new techniques, new mediums, and that's basically 2021. I have an upcoming show in Milan, a solo show with my gallery Plan X, and normally in April, and I'm also releasing a book
Really
about me and my art in April. So yeah, big things are coming.
great. Amazing. Well, again, thank you so much for coming to Fiverr Questions, and stay tuned for the next episode.
Perfect. Thank you.